you mentioned it, but like the online Lutheran media space, like what is your critique of it, its current state? I'm just interested to hear what you.
Oh man, yeah, this is gonna be a hot topic. I hate it. Not because it's bad. I think we need more of it. To be honest with you, I think we need to move more as a unit. I think there's too much animosity and too many people doing their own thing. And this is just the Lutheran one. I'm not talking about globally, in a sense. Like, for instance, the example I always use is this. John MacArthur and John Piper weren't friends. They didn't like each other. You know what I'm saying? But they would work together to do a conference, to get the word out there on whatever it is they were opposing or teaching on. They would come together. R.C. Sproul MacArthur, we have a Presbyterian and Baptist. Time out. By no means am I saying the Lutherans should be doing that with some. I'm not. So don't think I'm going that route. What I'm saying is all these people claim to be Reformed. That's their bond. For our bond, we had the Book of Concord. So I just want to clear that up. But they'll work together. We have Lutheran online people presence. You know, they don't even retweet each other's stuff. They don't even support each other. They won't get together and do a conference where it's like get our tradition out there to attract more people, to inform more people. If it wasn't for online, I probably never would have heard of Lutheranism. To be 100% honest, I never would have heard about the Book of Concord or the Pure Gospel or Law and Gospel. If it wasn't for online. So now that we are in this area, I wish that we would highlight each other. Where if someone does a podcast and you talk to them a couple of times online, you know it's solid. Even if I don't listen to the episode, I might retweet it a couple of times. You know, I might one day DM, hey, why don't we try to cross promote? Why don't one day I go on your show, you go on my show, so we can reach for. I wish there was more of that. There isn't any, to be honest. Like for me, Brian Wolfmiller and Pirate Christian are the only two people, and rest in peace, Reverend Dr. Paul McCain, are the only people, and it might sound like a lot, but Paul McCain's been dead for a couple years. And with him, it wasn't a sense of, hey, let me market you. I was encouraged because he would just hop on my videos in the comments and in DM, and me and him kind of developed a little friendship, just talking. And that encouraged me. For people who don't know, he's one of the editors of the Book of Concord, like the CPH version. So separate than him. But Pirate Christian and Brian Wolfmiller are the only ones who will retweet something I do, or I'll be willing to just work with people in a sense and cross promote and try to get the word out there in a sense. Other than that, I don't want to mention names, but people act as if I don't like him. This ain't about, wait, you trying to take him on a date? What's going on? Like, who cares? Like, you would give him Lord's Supper at your church, right? You guys can't get together and do a conference. You do a Thursday, he does a Friday. You guys can't, so, you know, I also think that another aspect is we have there's going to be some synods I don't mention. We have the Wales, LCMS, ELS. Sure, we're not in pulpit fellowship, but we agree enough on the Book of Concord where we should be able to put something on together in a certain region and work together where you draw on your influence, I draw on mine. And I know this is from real life. If I go outside and it's 10 people hanging out and it's music playing or an event going on, what's going on over there? I'm going to be curious let me see what's going. I just don't get why there's not that. So that's the part I hate. The part I like is I'm seeing more and more people stepping their foot in our realm to get our confession, which I feel is the most accurate and biblical, out in people's face. So I do love that aspect of it. Another thing I hate, I told you, this is one I haven't really talked about on my podcast. I try to stay away from it. A lot of the ones that are ran by, the ones I love, in a sense, a lot of them aren't pastors that are coming, the new ones coming out. A lot of other ones, it seems like their main goal is to tear down the tradition, to be honest. Like a lot of ministries where it's like a lot of this stuff right here with this remote seminary. You rarely hear anything positive going on. You have some that focus on quote unquote racial issues. You never hear about positive stuff. All you hear about all these things is like, I get it. There are things that need to be addressed. But at some point, you gotta celebrate the good. You gotta celebrate the good. You can't just focus on the bad. So those are my two issues with the online landscape.
I totally get. I completely understand what you're saying. There's that part of me, and because we've been in this for so long. There's that. There's still that, and I don't know a better word for it, and we can, the confessional missional divide. There's just not a trust in, especially when if there's a conference, and then you go, well, is there going to be worship at this conference? And that thing, even though we're Lutherans, that just saying there would be a worship service, that would cause so much angst, between both sides. And
here's the funny part, though. I don't understand that. Is because I understand what you're saying. I don't understand that question. This isn't church. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a conference. It's a gathering. Like, is it going to be worship? Because when we say worship, people, and I don't know how many non-Lutherans you have listening. We're talking about a service. We're talking about divine service. Typically, we're talking about, you know what I'm saying? We're not just talking about us singing a song. We're not just talking about that. Why are you treating a conference like it's church? We can get together and talk about these real issues, or get together and talk about 3 uses of the law, a conference on vocation. We can get together and do these things and go home and be at church on Sunday. Like, I think that's the part I'm talking about when it comes to these arguments. Like, those things people get hung up on, and those shouldn't even be an issue. But the missional guys, they put their flag in the dirt. And the confessional guys put their flag in the dirt. And I come by and try to push over both of them like, you guys are idiots. Both of you guys. What are you talking about? This isn't church. Are we going to say the Lord's Prayer if you want to? What? This isn't a service going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the koinonia thing, perfect example. I don't know the setup, but hypothetically, if someone was to say, well, are we going to worship? We're here to talk about things dealing with the church body and things going forward in that nature. Can we pray together? Yes. If the walls were there, we'll give y'all a room. Y'all can go off and do your own thing. We'll have water and juice boxes and cupcakes in there for you guys. But other than that, yeah, we can pray together, but it's not service. Sorry, Wells. I mean, throw a shot at y'all. Like
I guess so. The other thing, though, could we even agree on a conference topic? Because I'll give you this, because of the best practices side, there's that best practice conference in Arizona, which is like all the missional guys talking multi-sites and things like that. And then there's, symposia and like those don't really overlap. And so I almost struggle to know what kind of conference would attract both of them. And there should be, but I'm just saying it just doesn't feel like there is. And there should be, because we have so much that we should be talking about.
If we really find unity in the Book of Concord, there should be no reason why we can't get together and talk about what unites us. That's the way I sum it up. That's where our unity is. And this is going to sound biased to non-Lutherans, but I stand on it. And as you know, I've always professed this type of stuff. I think it's the most clearly articulated, faithful position explanation of Holy Writ. Am I saying it's the Bible? No, I'm not. What I'm saying, though, is it's so faithful to it is why we confess it. If that's our view, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to come together and talk. I mean, like you said, I was on the ULC, you called it, show. And you watched the episode. We had a couple rough moments going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? But we're united in the confession. We still can have a conversation. And for this divide to be honestly about things that they won't look at someone in disagreement with what they're arguing about and say, you don't hold to the Book of Concord. They won't look at someone and say that. So y'all should be able to get together and talk and really have a conversation in good faith. I say that because there's some people with online platforms that are saying, I just want a conversation. No, you don't, man.